Welcome back to the Chattable podcast, where enrich vocabulary and speak English with pride. So, I want you to picture this. The clock is ticking down to zero. The stadium noise is just absolutely deafening.
Oh, yeah?
Millions of people are watching at home, and while one person has the ball, and they have barely 2 seconds to make a split-second decision, like a decision that will basically define their entire career.
I mean, that is the ultimate pressure cooker right there.
Right.
And, how someone reacts in that tiny, tiny fraction of a second, well, it tells you everything you need to know about them.
Exactly. So in this episode, we're zooming in on that exact kind of intense, overwhelming pressure. But instead of the psychology behind it, we're actually looking at the vocabulary.
Right, the language we use for it.
Yeah, we're exploring 2 highly expressive English phrases that capture the extreme opposites of how humans handle those impossible situations. So from total frustrating defeat on one hand to incredibly heroic success on the other.
And mastering these 2 idioms is, it's a fantastic way for you to really sound like a native speaker.
Oh, for sure.
Because true fluency isn't just knowing the dictionary definitions. It's being able to paint a vivid, emotional picture of human struggle and triumph.
Well said. So let's start with the darker outcome, right? Like the moment the pressure finally just breaks you. The phrase here is throw up one's arms, or you'll often hear it as throw up one's hands.
Yeah, both are super common.
And this is basically the vocabulary of absolute surrender. It's what you say when a situation feels entirely impossible to beat. You're just completely done trying.
Yeah. And to really grasp the emotional weight of this phrase, you have to look at its literal physical origins.
Right.
Because it's deeply rooted in universal human body language. I mean, think about the physical reaction a person has when they've lost a grueling argument or they've been backed into a corner with literally no escape.
Yeah, it's instinctive.
Totally. The natural, unthinking instinct is to just lift both hands high into the air and let them fall.
I've always found the biology of that so fascinating. It feels kind of like the human equivalent of an animal rolling over.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Like a wolf or a dog rolling over on its back when it's beaten by a stronger rival, exposing its belly to say, you win, I'm harmless, please stop. It just feels like this ingrained survival reflex.
That instinctive reflex is precisely what's happening. When you throw up your arms, you expose your chest, you drop your guard, and you physically demonstrate that you have 0 weapons left.
Wow. Yeah, you're totally right.
You're broadcasting to the world that you just cannot do anything about the problem in front of you.
Which brings up a perfect sports example from our sources. I mean, think back to the absolute peak years of the tennis legend, Roger Federer.
Oh, man. A genuinely terrifying opponent for anyone on the other side of the net.
Right. Terrifying because he made the impossible look entirely effortless. I mean, imagine being his opponent. You've been playing for 3 agonizing hours. You're exhausted.
Sweating buckets.
Exactly. And you hit what you think is the perfect, untouchable shot. But Federer doesn't just reach it. He somehow flicks his wrist and sends the ball back at an angle that just defies physics.
Right.
As his opponent, what can you even do? You literally have no answer. You just throw up your arms.
And the body language says it all there. I mean, the opponent isn't even angry anymore. They've transcended anger and reached a state of pure resignation.
But, we don't just use this phrase for professional athletes facing down tennis legends.
Right. It happens to all of us.
Yeah, this happens in the mundane reality of everyday life, too. Imagine your coworker, let's call her Rachel. It's 11 at night on a Thursday.
Oh, that's already a bad situation.
Yeah, she's alone in the office, desperately trying to finish this massive financial model that's due tomorrow morning.
Hey, let me guess. Suddenly, the complicated software she's using just freezes. The screen goes blue.
Oh, the classic nightmare scenario.
Truly the worst.
So she reboots the computer, loses an hour of hard work, and just starts over. But 30 minutes later, it crashes again. And by the 5th time that software crashes, Rachel doesn't yell.
No.
She doesn't punch the keyboard. She just pushes her chair back, throws up her arms, and stares at the ceiling.
She's basically admitting the machine has won.
Exactly.
The problem is too big, the technology is too stubborn, and she just has no moves left to play.
So if throwing up your arms is the ultimate physical sign that the pressure broke you, What is the language for the person who actually absorbs that same pressure and uses it to win?
Oh, this is the fun part.
Right. Like, if Rachel is throwing up her arms in defeat, what do we call the IT specialist who walks in at midnight and magically recovers all her data?
Well, we say that person came up clutch.
Came up clutch, meaning they performed incredibly well or made a perfect decision or, achieved a massive success at the exact moment of highest pressure.
Exactly. Right when everyone else was panicking.
And the origin of this phrase takes us in a completely different direction. Like, it doesn't come from biology or animal instincts at all.
No, not at all. It comes straight from the mechanics of a manual car engine.
Wait, really? Like, a clutch is the part in a car that connects the spinning engine to the wheels, right?
That's the one.
So without it, the engine just revs and spins uselessly, but the car goes absolutely nowhere. So is the phrase implying that a person acts like that mechanical part?
That is the exact connection, yeah. Because inside the transmission, the clutch's entire job is to hold everything together under extreme friction.
Oh, wow.
And intense heat, so the power can actually move the vehicle forward. I mean, when you shift gears, the clutch engages, absorbs the massive shock, and keeps the whole system from breaking apart.
Oh, I love that imagery. That's so cool.
Isn't it?
So a person who comes up clutch is literally the human version of that mechanism. Like, they're holding the team together and keeping things moving forward when the friction and stress are at their absolute highest.
Yeah, and over time, that mechanical concept just bled into American sports slang, especially in baseball and basketball.
Makes sense.
The final, most stressful minutes of a game, when the score is tied, the crowd is screaming, and the clock is ticking down, well, that became known simply as the clutch.
And the players who succeed in that high-friction environment are the ones who come up clutch.
Exactly.
Steph Curry of the Golden State Warriors is like the textbook example here.
Oh, absolutely. A player whose entire legacy is built on the clutch moment.
Right. So picture the scenario we started with. The game is on the line. The Warriors are down by 2 points, and there are 3 seconds left on the clock.
So stressful.
The opposing team's defense is entirely focused on stopping Curry. The noise in the arena is deafening. Most players would let that pressure ruin their focus.
Oh, I know I would.
Right. But Curry calmly steps back, shoots a three-pointer from 30 feet away, and the ball goes through the hoop just as the final buzzer sounds.
He doesn't crumble. He absorbs the friction, connects the engine to the wheels, and just delivers the win.
But, you don't need a basketball stadium to see this in action. Let's look at a high-stakes business scenario.
Okay.
You're in the boardroom. The CEO of your biggest client is sitting across from you, waiting for the pitch of the year. And your coworker, Maya, opens her laptop, and the presentation slides are just, gone.
Oh, no. A corrupted file.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The entire room goes dead silent. The executives start sweating.
That is a moment where everyone else is definitely ready to throw up their arms.
Right, but Maya doesn't. She calmly smiles at the client, tells a brief anecdote to buy some time, quickly digs into her computer's temporary cache files, finds an auto-saved version from 10 minutes ago, and projects it onto the screen without missing a single beat.
Wow.
Maya came up clutch.
That's a great example. Or think about a personal crisis.
Mm-hmm.
You're standing at the airport terminal. They're boarding your flight to an international destination.
Okay, I'm already getting anxious.
Right. And you reach into your bag only to realize your passport is sitting on your kitchen counter an hour away.
Pure panic. Just pure panic.
Utter panic. So you call your best friend. And they don't lecture you or tell you it's hopeless. They drop whatever they're doing, grab your passport, navigate through gridlock traffic, sprint through the airport, and hand it to you literally 2 minutes before the gate agents close the doors.
Your friend came up clutch.
Exactly. They saved the day under extreme friction.
So we have this amazing dichotomy, right? The surrender of throwing up your arms and the friction-absorbing heroics of coming up clutch.
Yeah, the two extremes.
But if you really want to master English fluency, knowing the dictionary definitions is only half the battle.
Oh, for sure. The other half is understanding cultural context.
Right.
You have to know the unwritten rules of when a phrase feels weird or inappropriate or just jarring to a native speaker's ear.
That's so true. Let's explore those danger zones, starting with throwing up your arms, because there's a massive contradiction here that we can call the celebration trap.
Yes. This is a nuance that catches a lot of English learners off guard.
How so?
Well, think about the physical action of a runner crossing the finish line of a marathon after running 26 miles. What do? They throw their arms straight up into the air in pure joy.
True.
Or, like a soccer player who just scored the game-winning goal, They sprint across the grass with their arms thrown up to the sky.
So physically, they're doing the exact bodily motion we've been talking about.
Physically, yes. But verbally, you must never, ever use the idiom throw up your arms to describe winning, celebrating, or feeling powerful.
Never.
Never. In spoken English, this specific combination of words exclusively implies hopelessness, surrender, and frustration.
That is such a vital distinction to make. Like, the literal physical action can signify ultimate victory, but the spoken idiom only ever means bitter defeat.
Exactly.
So if you tell a native speaker, I finished the marathon and threw up my arms, they're going to picture you quitting at mile 20 in tears.
Yeah, it creates immediate confusion. I mean, if someone says happy, you might say they raised their arms in triumph, but never that they threw up their arms.
Okay, got it. So that covers the trap of our first phrase. What about come up clutch?
Right. There are rules for that one, too.
So if someone saves the day, they're clutch. So hypothetically, if my lawyer finds a brilliant legal loophole that keeps me out of prison, could I tell my friends, man, my lawyer really came up clutch at the trial?
Whoa, hold on. No, I wouldn't use it there. This brings us to what we call the formality rule.
Wait, why not? I mean, the lawyer performed flawlessly under immense pressure. That's the literal definition of clutch.
True, but come up clutch is inherently high-energy, informal sports slang.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, because of its casual, energetic roots, dropping it into highly formal, solemn, or life or death situations sounds deeply unprofessional.
Ah, I see. It kind of trivializes the severity of a criminal trial.
Precisely. You just wouldn't use it for a serious legal trial. You wouldn't use it to describe a surgeon saving a life in a medical emergency.
Oh, gosh, yeah, that would sound terrible.
And you certainly wouldn't use it at a funeral. It's simply too casual for situations involving heavy, real-world consequences. Save it for sports, office emergencies, or social situations.
That makes perfect sense. The tone of the phrase really has to match the gravity of the room.
Exactly. And add that one final boundary for come up clutch, which is the friction rule.
The friction rule?
Yes. You cannot use it for easy, everyday tasks where there is zero pressure and zero risk.
Okay.
Like if you ask your roommate to pass you the TV remote and they toss it to you, they did not come up clutch.
Right, because there was no friction.
Exactly.
The clutch mechanism has no purpose if there's no massive force to absorb. The stakes have to be high. I love how beautifully that ties the mechanical origin back to everyday usage.
It really does.
So to recap our journey in this episode, we've explored the hopeless, universal body language of defeat, throwing up one's arms, and contrasted it with the high-friction, game-winning mechanics of saving the day coming up clutch.
And I'd challenge you to start listening actively for these phrases in the wild. You know, you'll hear them in action movies, during sports broadcasts, and in the hallways at work.
Oh, they're everywhere once you start listening for them.
Right. And notice the emotional color they add to English conversations. They convey so much more texture than just saying, I gave up, or you did a good job.
They really do paint a vivid picture. And it leaves me with a final, provocative thought for you to mull over.
And it.
It's fascinating how our vocabulary for abstract psychological stress is entirely borrowed from the tangible physical world. Like, when we're overwhelmed, we borrow the physical posture of our body surrendering. And when we succeed under immense pressure, we borrow the metal friction of an internal combustion engine holding itself together.
It's true. We have to use the physical world to make sense of our internal mental states.
Exactly. Which makes you wonder, as our world rapidly changes and internal combustion engines become obsolete, what modern technology or software are we interacting with right now that will become the slang for human emotion 100 years from now?
Oh, wow. That's a really interesting question.
Like when someone performs brilliantly under pressure in the year 2124, what machine will they be compared to? It's definitely something to think about.
It really is.
Well, until next time, keep listening, keep learning, and keep speaking with pride.